Hello, dear friends. I'm happy to inform you that this is the first day in my 67th year of life. And I'm happy that I promised that I would share 66 things that I have learned from the Bible. I'll be picking one from each book in the Bible. There are 66 books. And the first one is coming from the book of Genesis. And I am taking the story of Joseph as it appears in chapter 45. And my theme is forgiveness. We all know really what happened to Joseph and his brothers. And if you don't know, read all about it in the book of Genesis. The culmination is in chapter 45, where Joseph has now met his brothers. And he tells them in verse 5, "Now therefore be not be grieved nor angry with yourselves that you sought me hither, for God did send me before you to preserve life." God sent Joseph before into Egypt to preserve life. The brothers were cruel. They sold him. He ended up in prison. He ended up suffering in a foreign land. But guess what? It was all part of God's plan to preserve life. But what if Joseph had not forgiven his brothers? What if he had chosen to remain with all that remorse, with all that anger, with all the things that he felt at the unjust way in which the brothers dealt with him? This could not have come to pass. And maybe God would not have used him so mightily as he was used. And so this is one of the greatest lessons about life. Forgiveness. Forgive. Do not choose who to forgive. Just forgive. Because you see, forgiveness is also the theme of Jesus' life. He came so that we may understand the forgiveness that God had apportioned to us because we sinned and we deserved to die. But Christ came to confirm our forgiveness. And so even in the Lord's Prayer, it does say, "Forgive us." If we do not forgive, it means we will not receive forgiveness from God. Now you can imagine what would be your life if God does not forgive you your trespasses and my trespasses. And therefore, your failure to forgive a sister, to forgive a brother, to forgive a friend, to forgive even the country, for any injustice that you think has been done to you, it would be going against the very theme of the Bible. By the way, forgiveness makes you a happier person. It leaves you with no baggage inside of you. Forgiveness is the antidote to all this quarreling and enmity that we see around us. Because most of us keep grudges. Most of us fail to forgive. In fact, our ego says, if you forgive, it will show that you are weak. If you forgive, others will trample on you. No, my dear friend. One of my favorite lessons about forgiveness is that failing to forgive is like you drinking poison and you are hoping the other person to die. Because forgiveness is to do much more with your benefit. It benefits you more than it benefits the person that you are forgiving. And that's why don't wait for apology. You don't need to wait for the other person to apologize before you forgive. In your heart, release them, forgive them. And you know, once that is done, it is so easy to connect with fellow human beings. It is so easy to move around happily. It is so easy to have joy in your heart. And joy is a fruit of the Holy Spirit. So with this beginning, I can imagine what Joseph was going through. And you know, for us whose egos are flamed high, we would say, how could we forgive them? I mean, these brothers, what did they gain by doing what they did? But now today, Joseph has revealed, I was sent ahead by God to preserve life. Because you know, Egypt was the only place where food could be found in the time that famine happened in that land. Egypt was the only place where food could be found. And God had sent forth someone to make it possible for those who were coming, for the brothers of Joseph, to even enter into that land and get food free of charge. You may be the receptacle of God's love, But if your theme is unforgiveness, others may not access it. And so, my dear friend, even on this first day of our sharing, from the book of Genesis, one theme that should run with you through life: forgiveness. Forgive. Forgive unreservedly. Forgive without number. Forgive as long as someone offends you. Just purpose in your heart that you are going to forgive. And guess what? You are preserving life. So God bless you. On this first day of my 67th year, may God continue to bless you. I plan to enjoy myself and forgive.